I've been dropshipping for a while. Sammy and I have been working together for a lot. We've known each other for a long time, and we've been working together for over a year.
Fantastic.
Yeah, my name is Sammy, brother. I've been dropshipping on eBay for the last 7 years. Marc is my mentor, actually. I don't know.
All right, what's up, guys? Marc Augustine here. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Marc Augustine. I've been dropshipping, doing e-commerce for a long time. Took a break from YouTube. I'm going to come back to the videos. Posted a video a couple days ago. But what you guys are going to watch today is the actual full interview that Sammy and I did with an old school dropshipper that just got back into the game. We talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about him dealing with the FBI. We talked about setting up multiple Amazon accounts. We talked about strategy. It's a really interesting interview. So you guys like the video, subscribe. Before you get to watch that entire video, that entire interview, this account went below standard. This account is an account we set up last year. We listed, we showed you guys, we got it up to like $3,000 a month in profit. It went below standard. We're bringing it back up. Let's go into sales real quick. So Sammy and I will do a full update on this account, show you guys the profits and so on. But the account just came off of below standard, so it's now bumping back up. So at $5,000 at a 25% profit margin, or 30% profit margin, we'd have made like $1,500 on this account. By doing pretty much nothing else. So we're gonna boost this back up to making 3, 4, 5 grand in the next month or so. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the link in the description with the groups. There's a link to Ecom Sniper and all that stuff. But the purpose of this video is for you guys to see the interview. So let's get into the interview. Now, the interview wasn't done specifically for YouTube, so there's just the introduction. So like, subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy the interview. I've been dropshipping for a while. Sammy and I have been working together for a lot. We've known each other for a long time, and we've been working together for over a year.
Fantastic.
Yeah, my name is Sammy, brother. I've been dropshipping on eBay for the last 7 years. Marc is my mentor, actually. I don't know if you know. I don't know if you know him. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard. No.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll send you the YouTube channel. I have like 1,000 videos about dropshipping on YouTube.
He's like one of the guy who coined the concept of sniping on eBay. Yeah, one of the founders of that method.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, so I've been out of the game for quite a while, and only came back recently last year since December. So.
I gotcha.
Okay.
So
where are you from, by the way?
Well, it's kind of complicated, but I'll give you the shortest version possible, so doesn't take too long. I was actually born and raised in Poland, Central Eastern Europe.
Okay.
And lived there for the first 17 years before moving to U.S. Back in 2003. So I lived in U.S. for the next 17, 18 years before finally moving to Canada 4 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Kind of all over the place a little bit, you could say.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So what happened with your eBay journey? Yeah, like you said, you stopped. Like,
that's right.
Give me your story for that, yeah, if you don't mind.
So this really dates back to 2013. There's three friends of us. I got two more buddies that were always kind of doing something online, and one of them approached me and said, "Hey, you know what? There's this thing called dropshipping. I don't know if you're aware of that concept. I had absolutely no idea what that is at that time." So he explained it to me and said, "You know what? There's people that actually do Amazon and different other retailers on eBay." And I said, "Oh, okay. Well, how does that even make sense? Because doesn't actually Amazon have more expensive things than eBay?" So he said, "Well, yeah, you know what? But I don't know how this works. But there's actually people on eBay buying stuff. They have no idea where it's coming from. It doesn't really matter because they are on eBay, they're buying stuff on eBay. They're the customers of eBay, and not Amazon. So I was like, you know what? Okay, fine. Let's give it a shot. So this was probably the first time I opened my Amazon account and my first eBay account,
Mm.
to which actually to this day I have. And so we started our journey on eBay. So we posted some minor things, and it started blowing up. And then we were kind of thinking, well, how are we going to actually grasp the whole inventory, making sure it restocks properly and reprices properly, where we have so many things listed on eBay, right? So then my other buddy, he was actually in IT, a very smart guy. So he comes up with this repricer, restocker on his own. He writes a code, writes a program, and that's how we started with him. That was our very first program that was fully integrated with eBay and Amazon. And so we did this for probably 3 years, a good solid 3 years.
Mm.
It blew up perfectly. There was so many. We used different techniques to even make more money. There's websites such as Top Cashback, You Promise,
Right.
where
Yeah.
we used this a lot with Walmart. We did amazing with Walmart, not just Amazon. Actually, so good. I ended up having like close to 40K of cashback in You Promise.
You were in Poland at the time, or you were in Canada?
I was in US. I was
You're
in
in the
Chicago area.
US. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you had the US citizenship, or like?
I wanted to so badly, but I tried so hard. Trust me, brother. I spent a fortune trying to get it, but unfortunately failed. And so I kind of ran out of options 4 years ago. So that's when we decided to move to Canada.
Gotcha. Like you just
Okay.
yourself, or like your family, like or your
It's me, my
buddies?
wife, and our 5-year-old daughter.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So
Yeah.
at the time when you made your eBay account, was it like was it a US account?
It is a US account, yes.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So then, so you guys made your software. You guys started selling for in the
Hmm.
3 years it blew up. Like
Hmm.
you mentioned that you did some of these tricks. First, what about it? Can you give us the numbers that you did and how many items you posted?
Oh yeah, we were doing anywhere between, I want to say it was in tens of thousands of items listed. I
Gotcha. So
think
you did bulk theory.
yeah.
Yeah.
I had a fat limit, man, at that time. I called eBay multiple times throughout the years to get the limit increased, and eventually they just kept increasing it by themselves up to, I think I had at one point in time like $55 million limit with
Dollars or
Right.
items yeah?
dollars, and the
Dollar.
items were like at, I don't know, I
Yeah.
think a million, close to a million or something like
Right.
Dude, I remember those days, man. I had to call
that.
every month or something,
Yeah. Yep.
each of my accounts, increase my limit, and then, man, it was like things have changed since then. It's not the case
Yeah.
anymore like that, yeah?
Yeah. No, we had great years. I had a 1 million revenue year. Then I had tons of cash from those cashback websites.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, I
What
think
were your
eBay,
margins, if you don't mind before you continue, yeah?
yeah, we weren't doing good margins. I think we were hovering somewhere between 10-15%, sometimes 5%, really depends. But the
Gotcha. Like
cashback
it,
from those cashback websites is what gave us a lot too. And then
yeah.
we also used the Amazon credit card, which was extra 5% on Prime.
Yeah, because
Uh,
if you said you had 40,000 in cash back, then that was a big part of you guys' strategy. That's my
Oh,
assumption.
that was just like, you know, this was funny because, um, so I always did everything through UPromise for the Walmart part. We did lots of different retailers, not just Amazon
Right.
and Walmart. But I want to say Walmart and Amazon were our main cash cows.
Why?
Uh,
Why?
the most stuff we were sold through them.
Gotcha. Like was it because it was the easiest to use, or
Yeah.
that was
Um,
was that
you
the
know what?
reason?
it was easy to list, and the
Mhm.
items were just selling. I
Yeah,
had
true.
like $2,000 gas generators, furniture for like thousands of dollars,
Oh
and
wow, yeah.
it was
You
going.
went high ticket, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I I'm gonna tell you one funny story. Um, this was 2000 and I think 14 or 15. I don't know if you. So this was like 10 years ago. There was this famous shooting in Florida at a gay bar. This guy comes up and shoots like 50 people in this gay bar.
yeah.
Um, and so then I watched news for the next few days, and I see his name, right? And then this one day, I'm doing the research on some of my PayPal transactions, and this name pops up. So I'm like, wait a minute, I just saw this name in the news. What the hell? Hold and behold, I get a phone call from FBI a couple of, like 2 days later, and he calls me and says, you know what, this mass shooter just bought something from your eBay store. Like,
No
you
way.
gotta be
That
kidding. No, I ran into my store, log in, look up. He buys two ride-on cars, like one of those ride-on toys for toddlers, where he sits down and and steers
Mhm.
it. He bought
Right.
like two $800 F-150 pickup trucks, the Fords, for like two of them for his kid as a goodbye gift before he goes out and shoots those people in that
Oh
game.
my
Oh my God. I had a like an hour conversation with this FBI guy about this. I explained everything thoroughly to him. So, he understood, right? I mean, it was just a total coincidence that he ended up buying stuff from my store. But that was man, that was a moment. I gotta tell you, I was shitting
Yeah,
my
I'm
pants.
telling you. I'm telling you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I never really worked with law enforcement being in this business. Alhamdulillah, like I'm glad that's not the case.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
I'm
mean,
telling you.
we did everything by the book, right?
Yeah.
And then 2016 comes around, and eBay just shuts off retail arbitrage on paper, right?
Hmm.
Right.
And I think what happened back then, it was so many drop shippers, retail arbitrage drop shippers came on board and started doing stuff the wrong way. So
Mm. No.
lots of returns, lots of cancellations, and I think just a whole bunch of customers ended up not being happy. So I think that's why eBay did that part.
Exactly,
Uh,
yeah. Exactly.
yeah,
That's the
so I
exact
just
reason.
I shut down my business. I'm an
W-
accountant by trade, right? That's what I do,
Hmm.
full time, Monday through Friday. So I
Gotcha.
just came back to that, basically.
So just to pull back from there, you said you stopped the business. Why did you stop it? Because eBay made a rule that you're not allowed to drop ship anymore?
Yeah, that and the sales just stopped at that time. I was
Mm.
still having my listings, but it was the sales just stopped. Walmart kept canceling my accounts as well.
Mm.
Um,
Like, what was the main reason? Like, there has to, because
the
closing the
drop in
store,
sales, the drop
the,
in sales.
it was the drop in sales, like, not enough to deal with the bullshit that comes with a business. Is that what you mean? Because
Yeah, yeah.
that,
Yeah, no, we were having tens of thousands of listings. So we were up in like at least 120 orders a day.
mm,
Um, and this just stopped to the grind. It just halted to the grind.
like, how many, like, did it go from 120 to 0 or 120 to 10?
I would say like to 10, maybe 5. And then I looked at it like it's not feasible anymore. Like it's
Right.
it's it's just it's ended up just being a waste of time for me at that point.
Gotcha. But did you like do it yourselves? Did you have VAs? Like,
I never had a VA. Well, I hired my wife and my wife's sister.
gotcha.
So I gave them login. They were doing all the orders every single day. Both
Yeah.
of us doing it together.
Gotcha. So if you did have a VA at that time, right? Let's say that was at least breaking even. Would you have continued the business? if you didn't, were not actually involved in doing any of the work?
Well, if the sales didn't stop, if the sales didn't slow, I definitely would. Yeah, I was thinking a lot about
Not about
hiring
that.
PAs, but
Yeah,
the
yeah.
problem is just I wasn't trustworthy to anybody. I always
Gotcha.
had this, something in my mind that, you
Yeah.
know what, if I give the login information and passwords to somebody out there, he's gonna know what I'm selling. He's gonna replicate all this, and that's what I was always worried about.
Yeah, yeah. So what I would say to that is like I totally get it. I but the difference with mine, still my approach, like I went through a period of time where I was like I lost I think like $10,000 in one day, and then
Mhm,
even like some days I was losing maybe like $100, $200, $1,000, etc. Right? But in the very beginning, right? What happened was like I read a book. I think it was called the 4 Hour Work Week. Right. At the end of the book, right, one of the tips that that guy gave was if you go ahead and you leverage your currency, right, and you hire somebody in a third world country, you're able
mhm,
to go ahead and exponentiate, the effect, the impact that you give, right? Because of the currency that you hold. So I was working a security job, making about $15 an hour. No, sorry, I think it was 10 at the time. Right? This was
mhm,
6 years ago, 7 years ago. And then when I've hired my first employee, right, they pretty much did all the customer service, they did all of my orders, they did everything. And that, because they took care of all of that, it gave me the time to really like spend time to solve the actual problems in the business. Like
yeah,
why wasn't it why aren't I getting sales? Like
yeah,
how do I make more accounts? Like how does the system work? Like
yeah,
because somebody was doing all of that, all of these years that I spent was spent building and
mhm,
not actually operating the business.
yeah,
Of course, there's expenses and stuff, yeah. But I think that like the way I look at it is even if you're making like 20, $30 a month net profit, if you're not spending any time from it, I think that is worthwhile to do because once you solve the problems, right,
mhm,
the
yeah,
money comes, right? Money is
yeah,
not supposed to be like a byproduct of nothing. It's like a byproduct of the value that you provide or like the problems that you solve. Do you get what I mean?
oh, 100%, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So what did you do after you stopped your business? Like what year was this? Give us the time frame, yeah?
So this was about 2016-ish, 17, something like that.
Yeah, a
2016.
lot of people stopped around that time. And then
Yeah,
what? And then what? Do you still have that same account? Like, did you just shut it down or what?
I do. I do still have that account, and I still actually sell on this account to this day. Yeah, that's where
Ah.
I restarted last year in December, and they dropped my limits, but it's not too bad.
You know what the funniest thing about all of this is?
Mhm.
So this is what the timeline is, right? You said you started from 2013 to 2016, yeah?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
basically you started drop shipping during an unsaturated time. So that
Mhm.
means that if you listed any like how did you list items? Just random products, yeah?
Random products. I
Yeah.
ended up. We did a lot of. I think I read about this on your website, the bulk theory, where
Yeah.
we just in bulk listed like hundreds and hundreds of
Yeah.
products and
Yeah, yeah. No, I
kind of
A lot
figured
of
out
people
the
used
best
to
sellers from there.
dropship. Tyler used to do that.
Hmm.
Mark, hear me out on this. This is where you come in, right? This is the funny
Hmm.
part of all this entire operation, right?
Hmm.
2013 to 2016, Martin, yeah?
Yeah, you can call me Marty actually.
Marty,
Yeah,
good. So Marty started doing the bulk theory, but he was just copying and pasting items, just the titles, right?
yeah.
And then what happened was Mark, he coined the term sniping, right? And he saw there was an opportunity of sellers that who have already validated items that are sold on eBay at a marked up price from Amazon. So he started sniping those individuals, right?
Hmm.
And then what ended up happening was your sales dropped because of the saturation, right?
Hmm.
What saturation
Yeah.
means, right? The technical definition is there is a set value for an item in a marketplace, right? It
Hmm.
doesn't mean that there's enough sellers that have already validated an item at a certain price. So,
Hmm.
Mark, the reason why you're able to snipe people is because of saturation. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, yeah. No, this makes complete sense, man.
Yeah,
I think what we ended up doing is we ended up using different stuff like therapy
yeah.
to find those sellers on eBay and trying to snipe their products
Right, right.
and post it on our on.
That's before Therapy was part of eBay, and then Therapy
Yeah,
became part of eBay, and yeah.
Mhm,
yeah.
I started like in 2011, 12 or something.
mhm.
Hmm.
But I
Yeah,
remember the 2016 era was when, like, that was when people were making a killing off the sniping
yeah,
technique.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
that
yeah.
Yeah,
was
because
like people were making
we,
5 to
we had
10,000.
DSG from 2013,
Oh,
2016.
oh my gosh, those were good, great years. We were doing like $2,000 gas generators, bed frames, the whole bed sets, like
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like
uh,
outdoor kids playing
patio
stuff,
sets, everything.
bouncy castles, the whole thing.
I,
Yeah.
I would say it's actually easier now than ever to get sales, right? Because of that increased saturation of the market. But the problem with the sniping technique today would be that even if there's an increase of sellers to snipe from, because so many people are sniping, right?
Mhm.
The prices that the margin that you'll have is pretty small
Yeah,
in some cases. Do you get what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But originally, like from the people who were doing like the bulk theory and just optimizing listings, right?
Mhm.
They originally had a high markup because they were just copying and pasting items, and then those
Yeah.
snipers they would come in and they would see like a margin of like $10, $20, and they
Mhm.
would list it. But today
Yeah.
you would see those margins $2 or whatever because many people like are doing that right now. But I
Mhm.
still see
I
it.
did today. I sat this afternoon. I sat down and I was sniping for like an hour just to see what I could find.
Mhm.
And you could still find people
You
with
could
like
still find,
15,
yeah.
20. Yeah, you still because a
We
lot
do
of
it.
people, right, but people
We
don't
do
want
it,
to.
yeah.
We do it in a different way, but with this sniping technique in particular, I don't think a lot of people are willing to put in that work because you sit down and
Yeah.
you have to look for these
Right,
sellers.
right, 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 right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. True, true. But I think that's where like the automation comes into play. If we can
Right.
make that process like more streamlined, more
Mhm.
simple. Like we do live in like the AI era now, right? Things
Mhm.
can be automated. It's
Mhm.
just who's gonna make it. It's a lot
Yeah.
of
Right.
work to do it up
The
front.
one thing that I haven't seen anyone make yet, I think OA Genius had it for a very short time. So in this sniper, you know when you're sniping, so you find a seller on eBay or whatever, you see
Uh-huh.
what they sell, and you could list it, right? But you have to go through the process of finding where they've sourced the item and doing
Yeah,
that
yeah,
process.
yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't seen anyone automated finding side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
That
there's
part
there's
is tough.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's programs out there who kind of like we used to use a lot of eSync. It was one of the well-known drop shipping platforms, eSync or Easy Sync, some people call them.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's Auto DS also. There's SKU that we
Grid
use.
is like the oldest one. They're old school.
Yeah. And so like for eSync, for example, they have a page where they list bestsellers. I think they automate this sniping technique somehow. I don't know exactly
Right,
how
but
to do it.
but then they sell that database to everyone, is my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the
So it gets
problem there.
saturated pretty quickly.
Yeah, so it's not like I'm just talking about like putting in like still adding a little bit of work
Hmm.
and just automating a big part of it.
So
Hmm.
so we actually have like I
We
actually
have a
added
sniper.
we have
Yeah.
a sniper that did this semi-automatically,
Hmm.
finds the item, but you still have to put in like some work. We don't have a full solution to
Hmm.
find it because the problem is like you need to validate is this the same item? Otherwise, you're kind of like listing
Hmm.
somewhat blind. Even if there's a 90% accuracy, that 10% might really screw you if you're getting sales and stuff. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So Mark, like yeah, man, maybe like by the next year we'll have something like that. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
but I had planned to put in a couple hours a day and just to show people if they're willing to put in the work, like that extra piece. I
Yeah.
mean, what we're doing works with the bulk listing and so on, it works. And we
Hmm.
go for higher margin. We go for like more 25-30% margins.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's very nice. Yeah, I
So
always was operating on lower margins because I wanted to get as many sales as possible. Our
True.
idea was to basically start with lower margins, bulk list a whole bunch of items, then see what was the best seller, and then we kind of
Optimize that.
focused on those best sellers and raised up those profits. Then.
True, true. Yeah,
Right.
like I mean you could still do that today because other people have already like validated items. That
Mhm.
the thing is, if you're gonna like right now, if we went ahead and listed like 100,000 items or like even 10,000 items with like the same price as Amazon, you would get $100,000 in revenue in 1 month. Like
Yeah.
that is the case right now. Even if you go ahead and
Mhm.
increase the margins by like 10-20% above, right, the
Mhm.
Amazon price, you'll still sell like 50,000, 60,000. We noticed like every time you increase the price by 10%, your sales like plummet like by a
Mhm.
huge margin, right?
Mhm.
So the challenge with this is, right, it's the same problem that you faced, right?
Mhm.
Walmart canceling the orders, right?
Mhm.
You're gonna have to have your fulfillment side of it like
Yeah.
very established.
Yes.
And that's the reason why like we stuck to like if the price on Amazon is $100, I sell it for $200. And the
Mhm.
reason why is because like to kind of limit the sales so that way the fulfillment side doesn't run into any issues. You can there's two
Mhm.
ways you can scale it. Either get more sales, right?
Mhm.
But then you would face into problems on the back end, right?
Mhm.
But if you go ahead and list more items, you face problems on the front end. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just two different techniques, but both work. But in the end of the day, like they both have their unique challenges. So we kind of like settled for a happy medium. Well, I don't
Mhm.
know. I think we're kind of like heavily focused in the front.
Yeah.
Right.
What
No, I
what do you?
think I think it makes sense to list higher ticket items
Mhm,
or just items with bigger profits in general, bigger margins, so
mhm.
that they don't sell a whole lot, but you may only sell just a few per day, but you're going to make money off of it. So it's really the same thing, but it's less work actually.
True, true.
And
Yeah, no.
you said you started back in November, December, or something. What did you start? What are you doing exactly?
Yeah, so I was